What is good, beautiful people? I'm your host, King Lion of Locks. I'm here with RJ from CHG Gaming. We're about to do some reviewing and reacting to the Tekken 8 trailers. So let's do this.
Are we going to start?
Yes, we are getting ready to start. So, RJ, my man, we were going to start off with the State of Play Tekken 8 trailer, when they first started talking about the Tekken 8 game being released. Do you have anything about the trailer that you wanted to talk about, or before we get started into this?
I'm guessing you already did an intro?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why you went mute, because I can't do it. I'm not allowed to be in your intros. I guess.
You ruined the last. You ruined the last two.
Is that what the comments said? Did they not like me?
Yeah. No, we haven't got those out yet, but you ruined the last two. You ruined the last two, which we'll get those up. Those are already in the chamber.
Was that for the Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yes. You ruined the last two. You cannot be trusted.
Just wait till you guys see those ones. Oh man.
You cannot be trusted. Anyway,
all, one of those wasn't even me. It was Bandit Keith.
Anyway,
right? That's not even me.
Both you niggas.
He ain't me. He ain't me. Okay, I'm me. He's not me. He ain't him. Okay, I'm him. Just like my pronouns.
No, don't you steal my shit.
Anyways, so as far as the trailer is concerned, yeah, so we took a look at it earlier. We both saw it live. Well, I saw it live. He somehow missed it, but I saw it live at the Game Awards, and all I gotta say is one thing: rip Law, rip TU Law.
So what we're gonna do is we'll watch the State of Play one first, and then we'll watch that. We'll probably watch that one after the celebratory one that we saw well, you didn't see the teaser for, but knew that it was gonna be at the Game Awards. And ironically, this man told me that he had a Santa hat on and did not see this trailer after this one. So it's interesting, but we're gonna see that. But without further ado, let's check out the State of Play Tekken 8 trailer. All right.
If you somehow haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing. You're not a fighting fan if you haven't seen this yet.
You're really not. You're
not at all. Yeah. I wonder what that helmet is.
I think it's one of the G-Force.
G-Force?
Yeah, Kazuya's a military group.
Oh, the G Corporation.
There we go, yeah.
Okay, I was confused. Also, this is for some reason I forgot this was State of Play. Sorry, I did not see this yesterday. We saw this months ago. I took that back.
Yes, the State of Play happened. This was the very first trailer that they showed for Tekken.
We're doing like a historical recap here is what we're doing, guys. We're watching everything. Yeah, I thought this looked pretty good. Obviously using that Unreal Engine 5 to good use.
Definitely using all of it at once. I will say, like I mentioned before, you could definitely see the veins and like the muscle flex when you go in for a punch, as opposed to like old school Tekken where it still looked good, but it was all like one motion. You can definitely see the human body move better in this one.
I also say, so Tekken 7 came out, I think, oh gosh, not even 2 years after the systems were out. And I mean, they look good, but they still kind of look like they were using, in my opinion, like stock Unreal Engine 4 models and just kind of use like the Tekken assets on top of it. But they didn't look like they like built their own engine or anything. But this looks more like they might have actually built something more custom for Tekken, you know, with Unreal. Because a lot of companies use Unreal, but then they like craft it to make it fit their own artistic style. And it looks like they're doing that more so with Tekken 8 here. They're actually taking the engine of Unreal 5 and refining it for their own tastes, from what I see.
And I definitely agree with you, especially with how especially when they first showed this trailer, how different the characters looked in this Tekken as opposed to the original Tekken. Like we mentioned how Kazuya looks now as opposed to how Kazuya used to look, or how Jin looks. Let's see if I get how Jin looks in the game now, as opposed to like how he used to look. So like,
it's weird, and we'll see this. Everyone will see this as we move along, but there is a bit of inconsistency when it comes to that regard, because some characters do look the same, just better, just prettier.
Yes.
But they look about the same, and Jin is one of them. I think he looks maybe a little bit older, I think, but generally he looks about the same. Like I recognize him completely, body frame, clothes, hairstyle, all that stuff, perfect. Kazuya looks mostly the same, but I still think his face is a tad different. Just a tad. I don't know what it is about it. Something, and I could be wrong. It could just be me. But something about it, just I'm just like, it's recognizable, but at the same time a bit different. And maybe that's the point. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
I would say that what you're saying is correct. That if you were to put him in the lineup, you could be, and anyone that knows Tekken, you put him in the lineup like, okay, that's clearly supposed to be Kazuya. I think it is that with they upgraded made the characters look more definition, or look have more definition to them. They took more of their cartoonish features out of it and made them look more human, as opposed to like the other games. They looked human, but you could see that, okay, these are characters. These aren't like actually real people. While they look more like real people.
Maybe that's it. Maybe for some characters they're taking out the anime and putting in the realism. But again, that doesn't seem to be the general rule across all the character models, because as you guys will find out, some characters don't look realistic.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Some of them
they actually look like they came out of another game that we'll mention in a bit.
Yes. Yes. So, from this trailer, did you do you want to go through like your I would say like your ups and your downs? Was there anything that you was like, okay, I like this part, or I didn't like this part from the first trailer?
Not particularly in particular parts, but I do like Jin's drip. That never ends.
Yeah, he can't miss. He can't miss that one.
If this wasn't like a family, a game full of like anime level family drama, dude, he'd be pulling in the ladies left and right. Like bro.
Okay, so he has Sheen. He has Sheen. I would like to say every now and again he has Nina, but I feel like Nina is like a little too old.
Xiao Yu?
Yeah, we go. Yeah, Xiao Yu. That's what I meant.
Oh, Ling Xiao Yu. Her first name is Ling.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. No, he doesn't.
He has her. He has her. She'd be always around him with Hanra. He has Hanra. If he went that way, I'm not saying he did or he doesn't. And then I like to think that maybe in my own headcanon that he has Nina Williams, but like I feel like it's like a MILF status type thing, where
if it's anything, it's some kind of like dominatrix or MILF thing or something. It's not an actual romance.
Oh, definitely.
And at this point, Xiao Yu is just more so just trying to make sure Jin doesn't die. If anything, I think it's a one-sided affair. All right, I don't think Jin feels the same at all. I don't think he has time to feel the same.
So you say he's like a little sister then? Like he sees her as a little sister?
Probably, but I think Ling deep down wishes that they could be, because I think in the earlier games, I think that was kind of getting hinted at a little bit. But obviously, Jin had other things to worry about, like the world ending and shit. And trying to stop what his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wanted to do with the world and the devil gene blood, or the devil gene, I should say. So yeah, but regardless, the man's drip is just phenomenal. So I love that. I feel like they do that on purpose now. It's like, how can we make Jin look the most fabulous?
He can't miss. He can't miss.
Can't miss. This dude is on point. What about you? What's your first like?
So my first takes were, oh my god, we're getting Tekken 8. Looking through this, like I said, like you mentioned, there wasn't really anything bad that I saw either. I will say the one thing that stood out to me, and we already touched on this, was their design of how they looked. More so like how realistic they looked. At first watching it, first glance, I was like, oh damn, this is tight. Second and third time, I was like, okay, I am noticing a bit of difference. So I would say that was probably my only thing that I noticed that was, I wouldn't call it a down, but it was something I took notice to, was how different they look like now as opposed to how they used to look like. Wasn't a bad thing. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good thing either. It's just something, like I said, I took notice to. But all in all, the colors are amazing. The graphics for it are amazing. I love that it looks like they took away the armor, which I was a big fan of that taking that away, because that was hell. That truly was hell. Um, but yeah, I liked it. But are you ready to go to the second one, the second trailer?
I was gonna say one thing. I so I said at the beginning it's captured with capture straight from the PS5, but obviously if they're doing these transitions between what looks like an actual fight, in-game fight,
Right.
and then cut scenes and stuff. And so I just kind of wonder what it'll actually look like, because it looks like there's all these transitions. Like right now, like okay, cutscene, but like a second ago, it looked like an actual fight.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, well, what will be an actual fight and what won't be, or like maybe this is like from the story mode or something.
So
maybe the story mode fights will have these cinematic pieces in them within the fights themselves. I don't know.
So I think that there are some parts that because like there are people that have recreated this fight with the Tekken 7 gameplay. So like there are some moves that they do that they've actually done like as in combos. So like I guess this would count, but like far away. Not this fist, obviously. Let me just see if I can go back to where it's right when they had started it.
Some things I did recognize as actual combos, whether it was a cutscene or cinematic.
Right.
But it's just what my question is whether it gets played out as a cinematic or if it gets played out as just a regular fight. Like right now, it looks like a regular fight.
Right. And then cuts this in.
But then it goes like to this different screen camera shot with the attack being done. It's like what's what? Like because if it's all captured in game or in game, well then what's what? What is what? What will be an actual fight or what will be a cinematic part of the fight, or if that'll be in the game at all, I don't know.
Which I will say that if they do this seemingly like how Kingdom Hearts did it, Kingdom Hearts 3 did it, where I know you haven't gotten to that yet, but like every cutscene from the old Kingdom Hearts would be cutscene, then black screen, and then into gameplay, while Kingdom Hearts was cutscene, rotated the camera right into the action. So I don't know how they would do that, but if they were able to incorporate that into this, it would be kind of interesting to see.
They could with SSD. That's what SSD allows you to do, those seamless transitions. And so like I said, we'll have to find out how that plays out. And I imagine it probably would be more relegated to the story mode rather than any like regular. Because you could imagine in like competitive fights, you couldn't have that. That would just break up the action too much.
Yeah, no.
So it's probably more relegated to offline single player, and the campaign or the story mode or whatever they want to call it. But other than that, I think we're done here.
Okay. So next we're gonna move on to the special message from the man himself. What he wanted to say when this was his way of telling us that Tekken 8 was going to be at the Game Awards. So this is what he wanted to tell us.
Which I did not even know he put out. Which is funny. I actually found out. I didn't know they would be at the Game Awards.
Not allowed to look this good.
But I didn't know this was the announcement for it. I had no idea. Didn't even know. I like how they got Maximilian dude in there too. That's funny. How do people fake that level of excitement?
What are you talking about? I was that hype. I literally said that that muscle was as hard as my Schmeat was at that time.
I guess you were faking it too.
No, my Schmeat was literally that hard. What are you talking about?
Anyways, I love Parada. I love this fucking man. I just love this guy.
Don't ask me for shit.
I just can't stand him. I really can't. So there wasn't anything to it. It's just we thought that this was a funny ass video. Like this man really was like, "Don't ask me for shit. You getting this game? Don't ask me for shit."
So much. I love him.
So
I don't know how he looks. He looks the exact same over the years too. He looks the same. That man has not aged.
He doesn't age. He doesn't age.
He hasn't aged. He hasn't aged a single day.
Not at all. And
so is this the Game Awards one?
Yes. So this is now the Game Awards. What happened Thursday? The 8th.
The 8th. Thursday, December 8th.
So this was the trailer and gamelay of it. It is a minute 16. So we're gonna play it over while we're talking, but you guys will be able to see it. Let's get it.
Yeah, it's very short. Very fast. Damn, your monitor plays 2160. Holy crap!
So I got it from.
Mine does not do that.
I got it from a friend. That's how.
I bet. Oh, here come the titties.
I'm telling you, he's a baby. That's how. That's why they're like that.
I'm telling you, those boobs are bigger than they're supposed to be. I promise you they are. Also, Kazuya looked like he put Vaseline on his face.
I'm telling you.
Oh, there's Law.
Saucy as hell.
Rip Law. Rip him forever. What did they do to my boy Law?
It's crazy.
What did they do to him? But they did nothing to Lars. Lars was looking good.
All the Mishimas, and the Kazuya and the Kazuyas look good.
Yeah. Well, Lars is technically not a Mishima, but
no, he is a Mishima.
His last name isn't Mishima.
Okay, but
isn't he the adopted son?
No, that's Lee. He is the love child. He is the bastard.
He's the bastard son.
Yeah, yes. He's the bastard son. So he is a Mishima.
Is he more what I can't remember. Is he Lars? No, he's Jin's brother.
No,
right.
No, he's Kazuya's brother.
Kazuya?
Yes, he's Heihachi's love son. He's Heihachi's. When Heihachi was out sowing his royal oats, he had got a chick pregnant, and so that's all of Tekken 6's. That's Tekken 6's story. That's who Lars was looking for when he was with Lisa. He was looking for Heihachi to say that, hey, you got my mom pregnant, and I am that son. I am that bastard son.
Damn, German.
Yes, and he's German.
Yeah,
yes.
Isn't he German Japanese?
I don't. I couldn't tell you. They all speak Japanese, so I don't even know if he has a German accent.
German Japanese because his last name is, I think, like what, Alexander?
I think so. Yes. Yes, Lars Alexander.
I'm pretty sure he's German. He's German Japanese. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, most of it was fine. It was crazy short.
It really was. It was upsetting. I watched it the first time around, and I was like, I need more. Like the other trailer was longer, and
with the hype they were giving us during the award show, too, like they hyped it a couple times, to keep you going, to be like, I was expecting something good, like real good.
Yeah. Maybe
like talking about maybe some features or something, right? And then I was like, okay, this is good. I'm fine with this. But then I was like, done. I was like, wait, done? What the fuck you mean done? It's only been a minute.
Yeah, I didn't get like the story. The story didn't give me enough. Like I just see the fights that I want to see, but I don't know why we're fighting. That was what I wanted to know. Like I see that the world is being destroyed and Kazuya's in his devil form now. Jin is fighting him, but like, are we just squaring up like on sight? Like why are we just? And then okay, also I wanted to mention that scene, that June scene. Okay, so. Even like we mentioned that a lot of characters do this scene, but the one I was talking,
he has a particular theory with this whole June thing now.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is either. So I'm ready to hear this.
So there is an anime that people that watch anime knows, and you would know of a little bit because I've been playing it. But Naruto Shippuden, exactly. There's a part of that show where Naruto has a demon fox in him that his parents sealed away because the village was being destroyed. They didn't have nowhere to seal it in, so they sealed it into a baby. Yada 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 yakety schmackety. Sad story. Swing Set gets a lot more time than most characters in that anime. But when Naruto was getting ready to release the Tail Beast and basically let all that evil take over him, his father had a seal placed so that way if it got that bad, he would appear and cure him of his demon, like lock the demon back up. So what I'm thinking is that June is actually dead. We just have to take that pill. That is a very bitter pill to swallow.
June is super dead. She would have came back by now. She wasn't dead.
Yeah, but she is dead. But I do believe, like you mentioned, she did give a portion of her power or her spirit is inside of Jin. And when Jin's devil form gets to like max evil or like Kazuya's like trying to corrupt him, June would kind of come out and either purify him or reset him back to zero. So that way he's able to control the devil power. That's what I'm thinking. Now you mentioned that a lot of people, a lot of anime, like a lot of tropes. That's a common trope. But like that was like the pose and everything. That pose and everything is like Minato and Naruto saying, "Don't worry, I'm gonna fix you. Like I'm gonna reset the seal. You got this. Oh, by the way, I'm your father." Type shit. So like that's what I was thinking.
I feel like you got triggered in a way.
I did.
Like,
I did.
oh
I was
God,
like that.
Oh God.
So like that meme of like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen is like that. I was like, that's Naruto. That's what I was doing. Like that was like, it's like I was like, I don't want to say rip off because that's rude, and I feel like he doesn't deserve that. Like it wasn't a rip off, but it was like an inspiration or inspired by that scene, so to speak, if that's what he was doing.
We do got though Jun Kazama confirmed Tekken 8 character.
Yes,
Confirmed.
yes, definitely.
She may be dead, but she is confirmed. She's gonna be. I mean, not actually. We don't really know, but like, for sure, she's got to be in the game. She's got to be a playable character.
She has to be in the game.
Which will be the first mainline game she's been in since Tekken 2, I believe. I think that's when she died.
Yeah, because the tag doesn't count. Tag isn't canon.
I was gonna say like Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is her last actual like showing.
Mm-hmm.
But those aren't canon games. That's why they throw all the fucking characters in that game, because it doesn't matter. But it's the last story. It's been since 2, which was like what, out in '97 or some crazy. It's '96, so it's been a bad minute since we've had. Oh, good old look at her. Oh man, look at June. Yeah, she wasn't that cute looking. I can tell you that. She was not.
Hold your tongue.
Cute.
She was mommy. Her in her unknown form had been mommy for years. Like I would purposely.
Mommy scared me. Mommy, not mommy.
Exactly.
Unknown
Uppies
scared me.
Uppies mommy. No.
Unknown scared me, man. Growing as a kid, playing against her in Unknown as the final boss. I was confused as hell though too, because I was like, she looks a lot like June.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I was just really young, and I didn't really understand what was going on story-wise. But I remember her being pretty tough, though.
Yes.
She was pretty tough because she had like 1 health bar, but it was like probably like double the size of a regular one.
It was ridiculous, especially in Tekken Tag. Like you could beat, theoretically, if you could beat June, you just had to buy your time. It's just when she turned into Unknown, there was like, you had to pray to like RNGesus to be like, okay, I need you to give me the easy go at her because she's going to beat my ass and then combo the spears.
And I was really young when that game came out too, when I was playing it, so like I wasn't really good at all. And yeah, when I would beat her, it'd be a tough battle. It'd be a tough one. But can we go to the main conflict of problems here?
Yes, yes. So we can go to
you know where to pause it. You know where to pause it.
Yes.
You know where to pause it. There it is.
That worked perfectly too. That's crazy how that worked out.
Oh my gosh.
So
what did they do to my law?
We don't know if this is martial law or forest law. I will say that now in Tekken 7, martial law does have gray in his hair, and I don't see any gray in this law. This is a law, we just don't know which law it is.
Forest law for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's without a doubt. But yeah, it's like, and if it is forest law, I don't care. I'm fine, because we haven't seen him canon since 3.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like there's more creativity of what you can do with him, and I won't be pissed. But if it's martial, I'm pissed. Like, I'm so mad if that's martial law. He looks straight out of Street Fighter. Especially with like the new Street Fighter that we've seen now with 6 and everything. I'm like, this dude, if you threw him in Street Fighter, no one would be confused. They'd be like, okay, yeah, this new character for Street Fighter. Like, he looks so bloated. Now, there's been videos of people comparing some of the models that are shown in this trailer to Tekken 7, and I will say, like, his lower half of his like chest waist is the same now length or width as the upper half, because in Tekken 7 the lower half was it was like kind of like a woman, like kind of like a curvy, you know, like a hourglass. It kind of looked like that in Tekken 7. So I guess yes, it is more now lined up, but it's so bloated. It's so bloated. It is so weird.
Well, I would say the more so Tekken 7 was more keen to the actual Bruce Lee body type, because Bruce Lee looked like that. Yeah,
that's what I want. He's supposed to be Bruce Lee. That was the whole inspiration for him in the first place.
Right.
That's what I want. Don't change it. Don't change it, Harada. What the fuck are you doing with my law? I know Paul also looks a lot different too.
Yes.
And you have more of an issue with Paul, so maybe we can try to get Paul on the screen.
So while I never played really as a Paul character, there we go. While I never played Paul, I had family members that did play Paul, so like I feel upset for them. So we'll say that. Like I feel how they would feel if they saw him. It's bad enough that Paul and Ken Ryu have been like compared similar. You know, they both wear red. They have blonde hair. One wears his hair up in a eraser, but also wears a relax. And Ken also wears a relax. Now with Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6, both characters look homely. Homely to a degree. Like it says Ken Ryu is now homeless because his wife had took the kids. The wife took the kids and left. Paul never had kids, but Paul definitely looks homely. He looks like he's going through it.
He looks like he's having a midlife crisis because he has like the comb over, like the hipster comb over look, but he still has like all like the the denim and everything on him. So he looks like he's having a midlife crisis, like as a biker, like a biking midlife crisis, whatever. Like he doesn't know if he should stick with the times.
Yeah, he needs to give up being a biker. That's what it looks like. He looks like he just this is not my life anymore. This is not being a biker. Probably is no longer for me. He is well in his 50s or 40, like 50s or 60s.
I think he's in his 40s. He's in his 40s at this point.
He's in his 40s.
I'm pretty sure he's in his 40s. I don't think he's 50 yet. No,
okay,
no.
I will have to check because like I remember, like I said, in the lore video I saw it showed that like he was at least in his upper 40s or in his like 50s by Tekken 5. So like,
okay, I'll have to double check. I mean, I know he's one of the older characters,
right,
in the franchise. I knew that, but I didn't know he had hit 50 yet. Jeez.
But like, yeah, he doesn't need to be like this. They need to put some respect in his name, especially like he doesn't deserve this. He should not be like having to comb over, missing some of his hair, going through a midlife crisis.
He looks like he's having like an identity crisis with himself. Which here's the thing, because Paul's always been the comic relief character. If that's played into his character in this game, like that's his conflict in the game, I can forgive it because then at least it has a point. I'd be like, okay, you know what? I can roll with it. I can roll with that. If they play into it, I can forgive it because then I can laugh at it and it's like, okay, well they meant to do this, right? See, there's a point.
See, but the crazy part is though, while he is known as the comic relief character, like Paul and for martial law, they're both for the comic relief characters. It's crazy though, but like Paul beat Ogre stage 1. He won the tournament and now he's treated as the joke character. And then martial law, he was a badass competitor up until like Tekken 4, and then he just always been the character that his business is always about to be bankrupt. Like that's the whole reason.
I don't remember his business after 4. Like I know he got into 4 to because he was a drunk in 4 when 4 started. He was he kind of like down on his luck, became a drunk, and then he saw the invitation for the fight and he got himself back into shape.
Which one? Paul or
4? This is Law. Okay. This is Law in 4. Honestly, I don't remember his story. In 5. No, in 5, what happened was his son got into a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, like he's always looking for. Yeah, he's always looking for money. But like I always thought, like
he's looking for money, but it's not always about his business. But he is always looking out for money. I don't remember what the conflict was in 6, but then I don't remember really anyone's conflict in 6. 6 is a bit of a throwaway game, honestly. Beyond Lars being introduced, that's about it. And Elisa was in 6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was about it. That's really all I remember about 6, story wise. But but I mean, I don't mind them being the comic relief characters because I want to laugh, and and also because they're lifelong friends, and so to me that works. It reminds me of me and Travis, being my for those who don't know, I have a friend named Travis who I've been friends with for 20 years. So it kind of reminds me of that. So for me, it's a nice little warm, heartfelt thing for me. So I don't care. Even if Paul technically was the winner of Tekken 3 and Paul was, and Law's always been a badass. I don't care. I really don't care about that. But that has to be Forrest. That must be Forrest. I'm going to throw the biggest fit you have ever seen.
I would like to believe that it is forced. I like I said, he doesn't have any gray in his hair, and from Tekken 7, I remember Martial Law having gray. I remember Martial Law having gray in his hair because he's older now. And now I will say the one fucked up part is Martial Law also has a scar on his chest, and there is a scar on this guy's chest.
What is there? Go back. That's true. There is that big old scar that Marshall has. Go back. Okay. Just keep pausing it. I'm pausing it. Okay, there it is. Okay. There's no scar.
Right here. That's not abs. That's a scar. That's 1, 2, 3.
I don't know, man. That pendant's kind of changed, kind of blocking it.
No.
I don't know for sure.
You are in denial.
Shut up. Let me have this.
You are in denial. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
What are you doing?
Hold on a second. You are in denial. That pendant,
You
maybe.
can't see that. You can't. Oh no.
The 1, 2, 3.
Well, who knows? Maybe Forrest got one.
Why no?
We haven't seen us a second 3. Maybe he got one.
You
the exact one.
You are in denial. You are in denial.
Leave me alone.
So,
but I will say that real quick about to the characters is that so it's back to the inconsistencies because Law looks crazy bloated, whether that's Forrest or Marshall looks crazy bloated. Doesn't really look. He looks just his whole architecture was fucking weird. His geometry is so fucking weird. It looks like a big old muscle ball.
Yeah.
But like Paul looks about the same. Yeah, I mean the face is weird, but his body looks about the same.
Yeah, he just looks homely. That's just it. Like he doesn't look like him.
Can you keep going a little bit till we see King and
Yeah.
we see King? Yeah, go to King.
Okay.
When he was doing his pose. Let's get him. Yeah, there we go. He looks about the same. I mean, yeah, he's shredded. But
yes, there is a picture of him shredded, which we'll get that in the next video. Be easier to show that.
Body-wise, he looks about the same. Like I don't see anything that's like that looks ridiculously different. Like he looks about the same because he was always a thicker guy.
Yeah.
A big muscle dude. So like, if they made him more swole, that's not as noticeable for King as it is for Law, because Law was always a lean, shredded type. King was always a huge muscle guy.
Because he's a wrestler.
Because he's a wrestler, so it makes sense. So like he looks no different. And yes, I know his face isn't going to because it's a tiger mask or jaguar mask, but he still looks the same. His whole body looks the same. And I love it. I like it. Lars, no difference.
Oh, well,
literally no difference with Lars. His hair color is a bit different, but that's about it.
He added a tint of blue. I think he added a tint of blue.
I don't know if it's blue or gray because of the lighting, but
it looked like so he has the white hair like the Mishimas, which besides only Heihachi has white hair with him. But hold on,
Kazuya should have white hair by this. I think he uses just for men, honestly.
Not just for men.
Kazuya should have some kind of gray. Okay.
The devil gene reverses aging, and that's the only thing that prevents balding. The devil gene is the only thing that stops you from balding.
I don't know, man. I think he's using that Rogaine or something.
Really, the Rogaine.
He's using something, man, because he's as old as Law, if not older, and he got no gray. Come on.
He ain't got no gray. He, like I said, the devil gene reduces the aging factor.
Well, okay, yeah, right. Because he looks older. He does look older when he's regular Kazuya. So no, I ain't buying that shit. Anyway, but Lars looks about the same. Yeah, he really does. That's what I want.
I don't like Jack's design. Like I will say, for every Tekken we've had, hadn't had an issue with the Jack robot design. I will say I don't like this. He looks like Terminator mixed with RoboCop had a baby, and I don't like it. Mixed with Cable, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like
I don't have a single problem with it. I have no problem.
You don't have a so. Is it because you don't play Jax, or you just like literally don't have an issue with like the Jax robot?
I don't have. I guess I'm more indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't really care.
Okay.
I've never really cared about Jax for anything. If anything, Jax was always the character I could easily beat because his hitboxes are so fucking huge.
Yeah. To me, he was the ultimate goofy character, which I don't have a problem with like his movesets or anything, because it's just more so just looking at him. He doesn't look. The Jax robots never really looked intimidating. This one, he looks. If I saw him in the streets, I would be like, okay, the robots are clearly taking over. when you see the other Jacks, I'm like, okay, clearly, the Terminator had his, his slower brother came to town with him, and that's what we have the Jax robots. But this one,
I think the only thing that's making you think that way is he has the eye visor. If you take that out, he would probably look just as goofy. I mean, yes, and also he has a fucking rocket launcher thing on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But if you took out the eye visor, he wouldn't look as futuristic as he does.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. He wouldn't look as high tech without the eye visor. I think the eye visor is putting the look together.
Yeah, I think that's what gives it away, like that, because you said RoboCop and Terminator. Well, RoboCop had like that little head thing over his eyes. You never saw his eyes, but that's what made him kind of look so intimidating and also like so futuristic.
And without the head visor, he does look like a barber then fucked him up. So okay, yeah, I see that. Okay.
I think that's what it is. I mean, yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't really care though so much. I've never really cared about Jax. I mean, he's fine. I know him. He's always in one. It's cool to see what he looks like in the next game, but as far as it goes for me, I'm pretty much indifferent at that point.
Okay.
So, I did like his old school. I don't know if he still does them, but I did like his parodies of like, acting like Arnold Schwarzenegger at some points back in the older games. Whatever, he would do like those funny little poses and stuff, or like flexing his robot muscles or whatever. He was a funny character. He had like funny moves and stuff like that, but that was about it.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I think that's it for this one.
Yeah, that's it for this one. So we will move on to now the comparisons. Actually, like, listen to what he says. But this is the comparisons from Tekken 8 to Tekken 7. Just like some early cutscenes to gameplay, which we noticed that it's not entirely fair, because instead of them using cutscenes of Tekken 7, they use like actual gameplay footage mixed with the cutscenes from Tekken 8. So we'll see a little bit of the difference, but we can nitpick it.
Yeah, and it's tough. Oh, you need to turn that volume down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to compare. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of stuff is like, I guess you could maybe say it is in game or not. I don't know. They didn't put a caveat before this trailer saying it was in game, so I don't think it is. Some of it is just cutscenes. So yeah, it's very unfair to compare. And what's also not fair is that, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a Tekken game.
Yeah, so like
long time. And so, like, I bet you if Tekken 7 had came out in like 2019 instead of 2015, it would probably look better.
Now, I will say I will say that Tekken 7 was at the peak of the PS4. I think PS4 Pro. So I would say that while you can see the difference, this is the best. I think the best the PlayStation 4 was at. The best the PlayStation 4 was at its time.
I don't think the PS4 Pro was even out yet.
Really?
I mean, I'm googling it right now. Because Tekken 7 came out in 2015. Now I think it was June 2015, I believe, or maybe somewhere in the fall. But it was 2015. Yeah, PS4 Pro came out 2016, so a year later.
A year later.
So
okay.
Let me just double check Tekken 7 real quick, just to be on the safe side. But I'm pretty sure it was 2015. Yeah, February 2015, dude.
Okay, so
that was only 2 years, I think, into the PS4's life. Because I think it came out 2013. Yeah, November 2013. So not even 2 years later, we got Tekken 7. Like a year and a half in. And games still didn't look that good in 2015. Like, they were fine. They were serviceable for the time. I'm sure at the time we were like, oh my gosh. But like, if you're thinking about it in reality with how much we got to see how much they could do for real, like, when 2017 we got Horizon, 2018 we got God of War, stuff like that. In like oh, well, you know what? Uncharted 4 came out in 2015, I think.
Uncharted 4 was pretty good, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, Ghost of Tsushima towards the end of the generation. Ghost of Tsushima 2020, Last of Us 2 2020. We got to see what the system could really, really do. And so, again, it's another reason why it's a bit unfair, because we're looking at a game that came out pretty early into the last generation's gaming cycle. And whereas, I mean, this is still, I guess this is longer into the cycle than Tekken 7 came out, because PS5 came out in 2020, it'll be 2023 sometime when we get this. Apparently, unless it gets delayed.
You know, and
But,
also
still,
and also with like we talked about it too, with Street Fighter coming out smack dab in the middle of 2023. Even if, let's say, Tekken 8 comes out early 2023, it's still gonna be fighting Street Fighter. If it comes out after Street Fighter, it's definitely still gonna be fighting Street Fighter, because motherfuckers that are gonna be playing Street Fighter 6 will be trying to like carry them skills on for when Tekken comes out. So it's like putting two bad bitches against each other. It's just not fair. It's really not.
I wish Street Fighter came out earlier in the year to give the gap. There's more of a gap in between the two games.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a damned if you do it. It's like you're kind of losing either way.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out in the middle of the year. Because I'm trying to think of like what would be better, before or after, and I don't fucking know.
It's not like you would definitely have to play Tekken. If Tekken wants to thrive, and it's gonna be fucked. If it wants to thrive, it has to come out 2024, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Or they could push it out another year so it's by itself.
Yeah.
You know. But then again, Mortal Kombat might come out. So.
I don't think. Okay, with Netherworld hasn't been doing. I will say Netherworld's gaming has not been doing as well as like a Street Fighter in that comparison.
It does good when it's out. It doesn't have the longevity, but it does good when it comes. It does good for some time when it comes out. Trust me, dude. Mortal Kombat will do. When it's out, it is very, very popular in the competitive scene and the casual scene for a long time. Maybe not as long as Tekken or Street Fighter. Well, clearly not, because those games are still. Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7 were both being played at EVO every year, for the longest time. So, yeah, it doesn't have the longevity, but still, you don't want to. If it still won't be by itself, because I imagine NetherRealm will release Mortal Kombat in 2024 as well. So, yeah, fucking hell, Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Sucks because none of us are really Street Fighter guys. So it's like, damn it. It's like we want our boy Tekken to keep going and do well. And now you can maybe argue maybe there's not as much overlap between the two, because they're 2D fighter to a 3D fighter.
Well, no, the new one is 3D. The new Street Fighter is 3D now, isn't it?
I mean, it can have maybe 3D models, but if it still functions as a 2D game, I think it still functions more of a 2D style. I don't know. I have no idea. I think Street Fighter is going to be more accessible nowadays. Not as hardcore as it used to be. I don't freaking know. I don't follow it because it's not Tekken, so I don't follow it.
I could never do the rotating circle thing, so like I stuck to Tekken. Tekken was my thing. But this isn't the Street Fighter. This isn't the Street Fighter video. This is a Tekken video.
But yeah, I mean the game looks. I mean, all these comparisons look really good. I mean, the SSD alone is like a huge jump.
Yes.
So like what we'll probably see, which is going to more so impress people, is like all of the extra effects that we see in the fights. Not necessarily the fight themselves, but like everything that's happening in the background, or things that are happening, behind the scenes, like particle effects or like debris falling, or like. When people hit the ground, it actually like stays broken. Doesn't like just break and is all of a sudden is fixed.
Right.
It will stay broken.
Which I always like that, and I will say that for every world's background, I do like Tekken's background. Like you can always see the attention to detail that someone did in the background, and like normally when you're playing the game, you don't really, as the like person playing it, you don't really have time to look back there. But I feel like you get the chance to more. So I guess it's like you're able to look at the background more when you're playing this game. Not to say that you couldn't when you're not playing it, but you're able to like take in the surroundings a little bit easier for a Tekken game than any of my other fighting games. Any of the other fighting games, you really don't get that chance to look at the background and the surrounding areas.
And honestly, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I don't think any. I mean, there's not a lot of fighting games that I played, at least, that have backgrounds as involved as Tekken's do. And cause I'm thinking of Soul Calibur, like they're good, but they're not always that involved. And Mortal Kombat's really not that. Like maybe some are, but not a lot of them. Some are pretty simple. I mean, not that they're not cool. We're not saying they're not cool or dope, because they all are.
Definitely.
But as far as like how much you can really enjoy and take it in because there's so much going on in the back. Tekken, I think, is the most consistent with that, at least in our opinion. It seems because, and I can't really speak to Street Fighter. I've never really played it, so I don't know. But out of the other ones, for sure. I mean, we can even have this play because I mean it's really long. Might as well just get this playing.
You
While
want
we
to get play?
continue to talk. Yeah,
Okay.
because this is the so I guess IGN met with Harada, the man, the myth, the legend,
Yes.
and they went over the Game Awards trailer, and Harada was providing extra context for like individual scenes.
He was breaking down the new mechanics, like the heat mechanics. So I didn't too much hear that. So we can definitely listen to like what they're saying, and like I mentioned, if we want to point something out and come back to it, or like pause it and like talk about it, we can. Cause like I want to actually hear what like he had to say on some of these things. So let's get into that.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention when I watched it. I didn't really care.
You gotta listen.
I'd rather read about it
Yesterday,
later
Bandai
than
Namco
listen.
debuted a brand
That's too
new
much. That's too
Tekken
much
8
time
trailer
for
during
me.
the Game Awards, revealing new mechanics and the return
Yeah,
of a fan
yeah, they talk about it quite a bit.
Now
But the heat
joined
thing is
in
kind of interesting, which I
studio
wonder
by
how that'll
Tekken
play
8
out
director Katsuhiro
in
Harada,
competitive
producer
play.
Michael Murray for a
Because
full breakdown of the
and
new
we'll let
trailer.
him talk about it. But what I
Harada-san,
caught,
Michael,
like I
welcome.
did catch that,
Thank you.
and it did look
Let's
like
dive right into the trailer.
it's supposed to be something where like if players are of similar skill, some kind of mechanical is supposed to come in to help that play out better.
Presumably with Kazuya.
Right.
A gloved hand appears from what looks
yeah,
like
it's very
black
interesting.
smoke and
Very
reaches out to him.
interesting.
We know black smoke has historically
But-
been used to signify characters with the devil
Honestly,
gene, and the gloves
what
resemble
I
Jin's and
want- what I
Kazuya's.
want-
Can you talk about what's happening here and where we are?
I
in the
want to.
story?
I don't really care about the story trailer as much. I want to know
It's, this time we really
what we're
kind
gonna
of
have in
focus
the
on
game.
the story-based
What are we gonna
elements,
have in this game? That's
of
what
the
I
game
want.
and
Like,
trying to portray that in the
because I imagine this is going to be a $70
you can
game,
see,
and I want to make sure I'm getting what I
Jin Kazama
want for
actually
70
appears later
bucks.
on in the
Oh
trailer,
yeah, you're
right?
definitely
So we
paying
have,
$70 for
Jin
it.
Kazama,
Which
Jin
I will pay
Kazama,
70 bucks, but I want to make sure I know what I'm
so
getting into.
Jun is
You know?
Jin's mother, and Kazuya the father. So you know, the three of them are family, and the different.
You're getting
kind
a
of
good game.
density that they're
How do
on
you
and
how do you think
sort of
Kazuya and
intertwined
Jun
in,
met?
is
So
something
okay,
really
so
important to the
interesting,
story
interesting
overall.
story on
I
that.
think when you
The
play
the
game,
lore is that
play the
when
portion of it,
Tekken
you'll get more
Tekken
insight
2,
into,
right?
the dynamics
When
of that.
Kazuya took
But for this
over
part, we just really wanted to
Mishima
make,
Zaibatsu, first time I got it without having to say his name, Yata. Okay, when Kazuya took over Mishima Zaibatsu, under his rule, he genetically altered two sets of animals, kangaroos, and brought back dinosaurs for the raptors.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait, Kazuya did that?
Yes, he did that.
Oh.
Yeah, you would think it's
I thought
Heihachi.
I thought it was Heihachi.
Yeah, no, Kazuya did that, and so doing that signaled like PETA or whatever this world's PETA, and you will never believe who was running PETA at the time.
No way.
It was
not
Jun Kazama.
Obviously, this time
Well, she wasn't Kazama at the time, I'd imagine.
No, I'm sorry, June. No,
Something.
I think some of that will be
June, just June, something.
no, cause like I know, hey, it's Kazuya Mishima. So Jun Kazama is her last name. She is a Kazama. Cause like remember, there's Asuka, not
So
Asuka,
she
but
was a Kazama, but like a different whole family of Kazamas.
yeah, like they're cousins. Like Jin and whatever her name is, they're cousins. They never meet each other canonly, but they are related.
Wait,
So,
hold on a second.
Jun's kind of
What?
like his
Yes.
guide,
So
on the path
wait,
that
were
he's
June
on.
and
And,
were June and Kazuya actually related then in some way?
No, cause Kazuya is Kazuya Mishima.
that she has this special power.
Oh, so did Kazuya take the name?
She can actually
No, Kazuya has always been a Mishima. He's been it's Heihachi Mishima and Kazuya Mishima. He's always been a Mishima. It's Jun Kazama.
I haven't heard that name. I haven't heard Mishima behind Kazuya in so long. I guess I forgot.
Yeah, it's Kazuya Mishima. He's a Mishima. And so yeah.
Yeah. Kazuya. I don't know why that slipped my head. So then, okay, but June. I guess they were never married yet because June's always been called Jun Kazama.
Right.
So Asuka's related to June.
So that's where
Right.
we're at, when you see this. And so you can see that Kazuya Mishima is
Cool.
in charge of the G Corporation.
And they're
so
cousins,
He's kind
okay.
of used that as a vehicle to gain control.
But Asuka must be
basically
younger
the whole
then,
globe,
because she was in
right?
high school when Tekken
And
5.
this is partly due
Yes.
you know, he was
When
in a
Jin
rivalry
was,
with Heihachi
I mean,
Shinobu
I'd
before
imagine
he
out of
was
school.
Zaibatsu.
I don't know.
So after
He still, you could
Heihachi,
still
like you saw at the ending of
get him in the
Tekken
school outfit
you know,
in
he
Tekken
had
5, I
complete
believe.
control
I think that was one of
over
his
the world, and
ultimates.
so you see him,
So the crazy thing is, I
maybe
don't
he
think
was-
he's. I don't think he graduated.
And if you recall,
I
mean,
Tekken
I don't blame
he
him.
has these
Yeah.
extraordinary powers.
But I
that the
think
Devil
maybe he
King,
was the same age as Asuka or close
grants
to
him.
it.
So
Or like at least he
can
was
shoot
of high
lasers,
school
even, like,
age.
I
shotgun
think
Because he does-
senior, and then Asuka's a freshman, or maybe like
This is the kind of destructive
like
power
sophomore. But I know Jin was a senior. I would say that much.
Okay, at the 25
Oh, gosh, I
second
think
mark,
he
we
was-
get gameplay footage of Lars, Paul
I think
Phoenix,
Asuka
Martial
was
Law, Jack 8,
16
King. Everyone's
in Tekken
sporting a new
5?
look, especially Paul, who has moved away
Maybe?
from his signature hairdo, and Martial
Oh, they're talking
Law,
about
who's
Paul.
using
They're talking about
nunchucks
Paul.
in some of his
Okay,
attacks.
so hold on.
Can you tell us
And
about
Law.
the redesigns and new models that have been built for Tekken 8?
Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
So the characters that you mentioned, obviously, you know, all of them returning from past installments. But that said, they've been completely built from the ground up. The whole models, you know, everything, the rigging, the skinning, their costume design, everything about them was made from scratch for this time. We really wanted to give Tekken 8 the feeling of a brand new title and to provide that excitement for everyone, right? So, but we did have a lot of trouble in doing so. I mean, there's a financial cost of remaking all the models for the whole game, right? But more so, if you change it to make it look new, you have to be careful that you don't change it so much that people don't recognize their fan favorites. So we had to really take a hard look at each character and think, what makes them this iconic image to everyone, and to keep those elements while making it a brand new refresh of the costume. So that was something that was really important for us. And then, like you mentioned, Paul's hair, right? That's something that actually, he had the straightened long hair in Tekken 4, which is pretty popular with some of the Tekken fans. So that made an appearance. We actually have kind of an internal rule that every 4, you know, Tekken 4 and then Tekken 8, Paul has his hair down. So maybe next time Tekken 12, perhaps, we'll have a hair down version.
Don't
of
give me
Paul.
hope.
That said,
Tekken
we know
12.
that people,
Don't give me
there are
hope.
a lot of people who love the, you know, skyscraper hairstyle of the original Paul costume. So you can actually equip that in the customizations.
Jumping ahead to 33 seconds. we see
Okay,
some
okay,
Steve
I'm not
so-
surprised to hear that.
Jack.
Tekken's always been about customization.
Yeah, like
I'm not surprised.
I'm
but
happy to
that
hear
is-
that. I would say that if you were so worried about financial troubles for this game, you know, I would probably, and this is just me personally, I probably would not have rebuilt the models from the ground up, changing them.
When it's clear that that's not the case, because Lars, King, Jin, they don't look like they've been rebuilt.
No, they look the same. Yeah.
They look the fucking same. And so it's like, if you did, I don't know, maybe you gave more effort to others than some, but I don't know. When I hear that, and here's the thing, I'm not going to doubt there's financial troubles, because, you know, when Tekken 7 was coming out, Harada was legit saying, like, this has to do well or else the series may be done.
Right.
Because apparently Bandai doesn't trust fucking Tekken enough
Yeah,
to give it a
Bandai-
bigger budget.
Bandai doesn't
Bunch
like good games.
Bunch
They-
of bastards. Like Capcom, I bet you throws fucking money at whoever is supposed to, whoever the internal team is that develops Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, have you seen the trailers for Street Fighters? Like, see, we're doing it again. We're doing it again. But like, Street
That's always
Fighters.
been the case. That's always been the case. Like Street Fighter 5, 4, you know, like you can tell they throw hella money at that game, right? You never hear them talk about financial issues or whatever. But for Tekken 7 and now Tekken 8, Harada's mentioned. I appreciate the transparency, but it seems to be that Bandai doesn't want to throw the same amount of money at Tekken that Capcom throws at Street Fighter, which is a shame, because Tekken obviously proved to the fans, or to the company, that like, this, if you give us enough attention, let's do enough with this game, then it will do well. Obviously people still playing this at tournaments. People loved, having all the returning characters coming in, or the new characters that they brought in. They were all pretty much well received. Even the guest characters were pretty cool. Some of them, at least, just fun to like, okay, yeah, cool, Noctis, Negan, shit like that. So it was like, guys, you guys saw the success of Tekken 7 and how long it stayed relevant in the competitive scene, well after it came out. So it's like, give them more money. Bandai, give them more money.
That would help out. Like it.
I'm pretty sure that's why we got so shafted in Tekken 7 with the offline modes. Because they didn't probably give as much money as they could have to Tekken 7. And because that was the one thing I hated about Tekken. That's why I didn't play Tekken 7 longer than I wanted to, because I was like, okay, did the campaign, which was like, that's fine.
Man.
But it made me play with characters I don't play with, which was annoying. And then I was like, okay. Then I was like, okay, treasure battle. That was fun. I'm gonna admit, a lot of fun. Cool to constantly be rewarded and unlocking stuff, and it didn't really matter what difficulty you played, you would still get rewards, so hell yeah. But then after that, there was nothing to do, unless you wanted to play online.
Yeah.
And I get catering to the online scene, because that's what's gonna keep the game alive. But it's like, why do all your other dedicated fans who don't play competitive, which I'm sure is the majority of players, by the way, most players aren't playing online. Majority of them are playing offline. And so, like, what, you give me character stories? What the fuck is character stories? You could have taken that same effort and made a proper arcade with, like, I didn't even need a cinematic. Just bring back the comic panels from Tekken 4. Those were awesome. If you even did that, I would have been happy. But no, nothing. And so I think that's because there wasn't enough budget given to Tekken 7. So I hope and pray that Tekken 8 gets a bigger budget to where they can fully flesh out that game.
So, okay, so I take that and I raise you with two questions, two scenarios. Do you think that A, they had enough money and they wasted it on this idea, and, you know, they either, I guess it's like a spread out question. So either A, they had the money for it, and instead they decided to rebuild all the characters and blew through it too much and they lost some of it, so that way some characters look the way that they do while other characters look the way that they do now. Or do you think that they didn't have enough money and they still blew it with this idea, hoping that they were going to make it back?
It's tough to say. I would need to see more of the cast and compare to find out. I mean, we've only seen, what, 6 characters?
Yeah.
Paul, Law, Jin, Kazuya, Lars, Jack, and King.
Yeah.
So 7 characters, and in my opinion, or our opinion, so Jin, King, Lars for sure don't look really much different at all. I know Paul's hair is weird, but his body looks about the same. So I would include Paul in there too. Especially and once you can just change his hair back to the skyscraper, he'll probably look a lot more recognizable. So 4 out of the 7 look the same, whereas the other 3 kind of look. I mean, Kazuya looks a bit different, enough different for me to say, okay, yeah, I can tell they rebuilt him. Wall obviously has been rebuilt, and then Jack, but Jack's a given because they always do that. But whatever, we'll include it. But so that's only 7. And when Tekken 7 came out, it launched with 30 characters.
I think so.
So, or somewhere around 30. So I would need to see more of the cast and see how they all look to find out, yeah, they probably ran out of budget while trying to rebuild everybody.
So if let's say that you are him, all right, and you have this money, would you waste the money on redoing this, or would you just take this back to old school Tekken and just give us the panels, do the tried and true formula that the people will like? Now it is what people will expect, and so they won't be as hype. Or do you want to take this leap of faith, so to speak, and do what he did? Would you do which one would you do?
Well, it sucks because it's if I am him, then I'm a creator, and creators are always supposed to be pushing the boundary and trying new shit as an artist or a creator or whatever. So part of me obviously would be okay, because you want to make sure you do breathe fresh life into a very, very long running series. But at the same time, I don't know, because especially if you are pretty attached to certain characters, you wouldn't want to have them change too drastically. It's a tough thing to say, or for me to really say. I mean, yeah, me being me and not him, I would try to find a way to update everybody, use the SSD in the PS5, / Xbox Series, and in the latest graphics cards on PC to squeeze out as much, I guess, cartoonish realism as you can from these characters. The way I define it is when we went from the PS2 to PS3. where for the games that did transfer over, like for instance Ratchet and Clank is a great example. For those who know, like, you know, Ratchet and Clank was on PS2, killed the PS2, and they actually transitioned to PS3. It was like one of the few franchises that actually transitioned still. The jump in definition in the character design from PS2 to PS3 Ratchet was exactly what I usually look for when it comes to a game being transferred from a previous generation to a new one. Or you can look at Uncharted as a good example. Uncharted was on PS3, looked great. He looked about the same, even if his costume changed. And then when PS4 came out, he still looked like him, but just more defined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just they were able to add all the extra details to a human face or body and clothing, whatever, that you couldn't with the PS3. Right. But he still looked exactly like you were thinking of, but just like what you might imagine he would look on the PS4 hardware. That's what I kind of expect with this. Like, I think that's what the approach I would take. Take how they looked on the PS4, all the characters in the PS4, and then like, okay, how can we make this just more defined? For instance, like King, he looks about the same, but just his body is more refined because he's a jacked dude, so he's gonna have veins on his body. That's just what's going. Even if you do it naturally, you will have veins come out in the way that they do on him. And so King's a good example of like taking like what he looked like in Tekken 7, and then like how can we just make him just look the same but better? And so I think that's the approach I would have tried to take with all the characters. Just they look the same but better. Not different. Like Law straight up looks different, and I don't want different. I want the same but better.
Apparently, that's what he was going for. That's like from the horse's mouth himself. That's what he was going for. Only time will tell how good or bad that will be, but that's what he was going for. Let's continue on with the video. Let's see, because I think they're about to talk about the heat system next.
Maybe we'll have to see.
Into a wall. Can you tell us about the improvements that have been made to the stages and stage destruction in Tekken 8, including any visual?
I don't like how this guy talks to the camera when Harada's right next to him.
Okay, but Harada's not even looking at us.
For example, there's the functionality of the stage itself.
These are both nerds, and you know how we are. We're very not like we both look at you.
You know what's funny is that so you're talking about the environment playing a factor. Dude, Dead or Alive has been doing that for ages.
Yeah, yeah. But they also have
Tekken finally doing it.
They also have boo physics, and you know Tekken doesn't have boo physics like that.
I mean, in some characters they do.
True.
Have you seen Katarina? Come on.
Yeah, that is true. She is. She
It
does
looks like
have.
it looks like she could have. You could have put her in Dead or Alive as a guest character, and no one would have been confused.
How it affects the strategy, right? But also, not just
True.
that.
I mean, I like it. I like the environment being played more of a part because in Dead or Alive, it does help you string combos longer.
And you can see like a panorama from.
Well, I will say with Tekken 7, they had a little bit of it with the ground breaking or pushing people off the edge and then comboing that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like knocking them down, going to one level to the other. But like Dead or Alive has had that too since like the second game. So it's just funny how some concepts don't transition to certain games, and other ones have been doing it forever. Like we didn't have transitioning areas in Tekken until what, 5 maybe 4?
I wouldn't say 4.
Maybe 6. I don't even remember. Most levels were kind of just one plane.
Yeah, I don't think Tekken. I know Tekken 4 had slippery, it had water. But I don't think we had that until Tekken 5.
Maybe 5 at the earliest.
Yeah, I think Tekken 5.
But Dead or Alive has been having this since 2. At least 2. Maybe the first. I don't even know, but I know for sure 2 because I have 2. Play it.
And what this means is it's so much more intensive and even costly to make these kind of stages because
you see, he's bringing up the cost again. He's bringing the money up again.
Which again, like, I don't get me wrong, you gonna get my money. You definitely get my money. But like, if the cost was so much, I definitely would not have redid all the designs.
If I knew it was gonna turn into this maybe 30 years ago, I shouldn't have done 3D stages because everyone else is doing 2D. And they don't have to worry about the stuff the camera can't see. So I'm kind of jealous in some regards.
So here at 34 seconds, we see Lars is rooting for Jin. Can you tell us about Lars' place in Tekken 8's story? We also see him fighting Jack 8 and showing off the new heat system. Tekken 8's core concept is aggressive. Could you talk about what influenced that concept and what that means for Tekken 8's gameplay?
Wait,
How the
Tekken
Heat
was
system
always
plays into
aggressive.
that?
How could it be more aggressive?
So first, there's, like you said, Lars appears in the trailer rooting for Jin. You can kind of see their relationship throughout the series, but this time you can do it Jin Kazama Hussein. So I think it kind of gives people watching the trailer a good idea of the kind of dynamic there with those two. That he's supporting Jin in his journey this time, right? And then regarding the Heat system, it's like you said, you see in the trailer as he's fighting against Jack 8. But this is really designed to change the game in a positive way from past installments. That it's the same with real martial arts, but with fighting games as well. If you have two people who have a really similar skill level, sometimes neither can go and attack or open up themselves up. It leaves you vulnerable, perhaps. So you'll just see people staring each other down.
How does that play out
right?
offline against PvE?
We wanted to break that up. So the Heat system really kind of rewards players for going on offense and to maybe poke holes in their opponent's defense because it's more fun for the people playing, but also for people watching the game, it's more of an enjoyable spectator experience. So this
Look at them catering to the esports crowd again. You know, that's gonna be a big focus again. I mean, it makes sense, but still.
We need them at Evo. We need them at Evo so that way we bring more life. This man said he needs money. Evo will give him money.
Yeah, this guy's like steadily putting in the fact that like he didn't have enough money for this and he needs money. Please help. Send help.
This fight, Jin versus Kazuya,
That makes it so. He explained it but didn't explain it.
Yeah,
So-
I don't too much. I thought it was like, okay, let me pause that. So I thought it was gonna be like the Heat system was replacing the Rage art, which I thought that's what he was referring to because it looks like it's the new Rage art format where you have at a certain part where your life will get to a certain level and then you start to light up and you do an ultimate. Or like you have your Rage art and then you have your rage your two Rage attacks. So I thought that's what that was like connected to.
I thought it was gonna replace that too.
Yeah.
But it looks like it may just be an additional feature.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of playing. They call it heat because probably like keep the heat on them. Stay on them, and so it kind of rewards people who continue to stay on the attack or are risky enough to go on the attack. I don't know if that'll actually shape competitive play though, because just because the system's in there, it doesn't mean that you still won't make yourself vulnerable. Again, though, who knows? Who knows how the heat system will play? Maybe like you'll be able to have power armor or something.
Right.
I don't know. To make it to where you won't feel yourself open if you do try to stay on the attack. I don't know.
The only thing I can think of that makes that benefit to let's say to the professionals, because it's either that they'll be like you don't want to do that because you'll end up spending too much energy and your character will be like you leave yourself open. It's either that or it's like when you put your guard up in fighting games, your guard will go down from green to yellow to red. I'm assuming that's kind of what they mean because normally with Tekken you can block long as you block the right combination. You don't have to worry about your guard breaking.
So yes, that's a good point. Maybe we'll actually have guard meters now, or maybe it's a heat meter, and when it fills up, you can punch through a guard for a limited time or something.
Which I wonder will that be broken? I feel like that would kind of be, especially with Tekken, since once you basically break through someone's guard, you either have to pray that the person that's whooping your ass drops the combo or they finish. Otherwise, they're just gonna juggle you to nothing.
Well, again, I think it depends on how often you're blocking, right? So, and I know you might think oh, well, what about laws like machine gun punch, right? Well, I'd imagine also some attacks would give you certain amounts to add to your heat meter, right? And so the machine gun punch, yeah, it'll fill it up, but minimally, right? Because it knows, to prevent people from possibly trying to spam that. But even still, no competitive player is going to spam the machine gun punch. Let's be real. It's very easily dodgeable. You just duck or sidestep and you fuck them up. It's very easy to get out of, right? Or if you have a character that has a parry, you can just parry the shit out of them. I don't know if every character has a parry, but I know you can parry in that game. You can do a parry throw. So I mean, competitive players won't get caught in that anyways. It's only going to fuck up everyone else who doesn't play like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I might see it. It's either going to be a block meter to where if you just keep blocking, your guard's going to get destroyed, or which I don't know what kind of game does. I know there's a game that does that. Just can't think of it top of my head. But basically, yeah, or a heat meter for every character, and so if a character does keep blocking your attacks, your heat meter will just continue to go up. Or if you maybe do attacks in quick enough succession, your heat meter will go up because you're keeping the heat on them. And when that fills up, maybe you'll be able to punch through guard. Maybe you'll be able to do like a tiny bit of more extra damage or something. I don't know, but that's kind of how I might see that playing out. But I don't think it'll replace the rage arts and the rage. Oh shit! What did they call that? Rage art, rage something.
I thought it was like rage combo, but I don't know if that's correct.
No, it's not combo, but I know what you're trying to say. But it wasn't called because it's usually not every character, not every move leads to a combo. So I don't think it was rage combo. But you guys know what we're talking about. You Tekken players know. You know.
You guys know. You guys know.
The rage thing that's not the finish, the special. Okay, you guys know what we're talking about. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna replace it. I really don't. I think it'll just be an additional feature, which is fine. I don't dislike the idea of it because it'll help me as an mainly offline player destroy the computers. So I have no problem with it.
Okay. Well, I think we got like 5 more minutes left, so let's see what the man has to say.
That man says a lot of things.
He does.
The dynamics where you have he actually is a human. He doesn't possess the devil gene, right? Against Kazuya.
It's so interesting how the gene, the gene is like such a recessive gene because it just doesn't go down to everybody. You know.
So it started off in Kazuya's mother, as you know. So like that's why Heihachi didn't have it. It started off in Kazuya, but the lore of it, the original lore of it was that it started in it started in Kazuya, and part of Kazuya's. Hold on.
What was that?
That was the second camera. It's okay. I'll just cut that part. So it started off with it being in Kazuya. So Kazuya had 2 parts of the devil gene in him, and when he gave some of his essence to Jun, so to speak, part of the devil gene went into Jin. So like part of Kazuya's being went into Jin. So like he's not as strong as he originally was because part of his devil form went into him. So like that's the whole part of Tekken 4. Because after the end of Tekken 4, when there's Kazuya and Heihachi and Jin fighting each other, not in the movie but like in the game, Kazuya was like, I've been able to unify the devil gene. The actual devil that was like a part of the devil gene is no more. It's just me and the devil's power.
Yeah, if you do Kazuya story mode at the end.
Yeah.
Yes, and he beats Jin, he absorbs Jin's devil gene.
Well, there's that part, but like the actual canon story is like they're fighting. He was like, this child has like the other half of me, and I'm coming to take it back. And he's technically he's not able to take it back because at the end of Tekken 4, Jin beats both of them, flies away, and we get into Tekken 5, which has the Heihachi blowing up scene. Which that
is the canon.
Yeah.
That is the canon ending because it takes place right after Jin leaves.
Right. So that was the original story, but like it's now it's confirmed that Jin's mother had the devil gene and she passed it on.
So Jun had it all along.
Right, not Jun. Kazuya's mother. Kashina.
Oh gosh, what is? From Tekken 7, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because Heihachi's wife.
Yes.
Okay. Kazuya mother. Kazumi.
Yes.
Kazumi. Well, what's weird is that Kazumi, Heihachi's mom. Kazuya's mom, Heihachi's wife, or whatever, baby mama.
They were together.
Because they're both Mishimas.
Yes,
so
but
I guess they were married. So I
yes,
guess
they were married. Yeah, they were married.
So, okay, so Heihachi's wife. But where does that leave in Jinpachi?
So Jinpachi, he was he was a regular person. He was a regular person, but it says like if you read his bio, he got his mystical powers through some dark force. They don't say how. They don't give a specific reason. He just through the explosion that happened in Tekken 5, it erupted and caused him to become evil. They don't say what.
Wait, what do you mean? He was already evil. He was locked up underneath that dojo because of his power.
No. He wasn't locked because of his power. He was locked because Heihachi sent him down there. He sent him down there and made him carry the temple on his back. And it said that he carried that on his back for like X amount of days and died of like exhaustion. But his body stood there holding it up. Like Heihachi didn't do it because he thought he was evil. He did it because he wanted the Mishima Zaibatsu's corporation. And when he took control over it, that's when he became full on Yakuza member. That's when they became incorporated with violence and the drugs and weapons and trade and everything. That's when they
became like a military guns arm dealer or whatever the heck.
Right, you're right. Because he right when Heihachi got into control, he killed Jinpachi by making him carry the temple. So that's what happened. Hey, Jinpachi really has no devil gene in him. It's just they never specify why he had evil powers.
But he has, okay, so it wasn't a devil gene power, just some other miscellaneous evil power.
Yes, yeah. It was a MacGuffin, basically. It was
just some other thing.
Exactly.
I guess that makes sense because he doesn't look like a demon. So I guess that gives it away. Because he doesn't look like a demon like Kazuya, Jin, or Kazumi do. They all actually look like demons. They have like the horns and everything. But if I remember correctly, I don't think Jinpachi's evil form.
He just has a mouth.
I think he has a crazy ass mouth.
Yeah, that was about it.
Stomach mouth. But I don't think he has horns.
He just has
I guess
the
that's
mouth.
a good point. I guess that gives it away. I think they kind of just gave it away right away. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
We just assumed it was the devil gene. Well, nice little slip. I mean, here's the thing. I remember in the story mode, Tekken 7, forget who was it, Leo or someone that like found some document that actually talked about the history and they mentioned Jinpachi in it. And I remember they were talking about that, but I've only played it once and you played it recently, so
Right.
probably more top of mind for you. I played it when it launched and I never played it again. So
See, I played it when it launched, and I still gotta finish it, but I'm playing on the channel. But like I said, everything that like the lore of it, I watched it from another video, which I'll put it down in the link below. But like the lore of Tekken is crazy. It is ridiculous.
It goes on for a long time. It's a lot of crazy to get through.
Yes, which you told me that it's the longest
Apparently,
running.
it's the longest running story in any gaming franchise in history. It's on their website. If you go to their website, that's what they say. And I was like maybe it is. It's now like a over 20-year-old franchise now. And I guess they have been running that devil story, or at least the family story, since the beginning game. So maybe it does, because I was thinking like, what about other games that are being told? You know, I was thinking, I don't think their stories are tied in this as closely as Tekken's has always been.
Yeah, I think Mortal Kombat, they at least change and have a new champion, or at least new tournament every so often. Like their story changes. It's been redone like three or four times. Street Fighter, their story kind of. Do they have a story? I would say that.
You can't ask. I'm a wrong person to ask, and I don't think Dead or Alive has. I don't know. Maybe Dead or Alive hasn't been around long enough, or as long. I thought Dead or Alive came first. No, Dead or Alive's first game was on the Dreamcast. So it's not as old. So, but it's up there too. Its narrative's been going on, I think, consistently as well, without any reboots or restarts. If I remember correctly. Soul Calibur as well, but that's not as old either. I was
gonna say. And then they not reset it, but like haven't they done like kind of which?
They went in the past. They went in the past, but they didn't reboot it. There was no reboot or anything. Like Mortal Kombat 9 was a reboot. So yeah, I guess it is. I mean, if that's the truth, then congrats to you, Tekken.
Damn, that's crazy.
I still want all my single player modes in Tekken. But you can keep playing it. You can keep playing the trailer.
All right.
But yeah, it's an itch. But yeah, I remember that. I remember the whole thing
being
that
able to control
Kazumi had the devil
gene
gene.
go freely back and
as
forth
well.
between human and devil powers. He's much
Yeah,
more
very
of
interesting.
Developed
And I bet you Heihachi was so pissed about that.
Entity.
Oh, yeah.
Person, I guess you could say, where
Probably what,
Jin
like,
is-
I
he's
want the
younger,
devil.
you know,
I want the
he's
devil
still,
gene.
he has
I mean, cause like that's what his whole thing was for Tekken 3. Like he didn't want the devil gene, but he wanted demonic powers.
himself or the devil gene.
So that's why he wanted to capture Ogre.
So the way that plays out is quite different.
Oh yeah. And that's also why he also wanted.
Kazuya. But
He was
not
like,
just
if
that,
I can also
he has
get
the
Jin
added
and
dynamic
Kazuya
of,
too. I mean, so be it.
Jin's
That's just
mother,
more for me.
Kazama,
Yeah.
Kazuya's
Um,
wife as well.
How did he
kind of
find
will
Ogre?
come on the scene and
Jin found Ogre. Cause remember, Ogre killed June,
this time.
and
Is
June
that how Jin
told,
dies? Okay.
yeah, that's how June dies. And so June told Jin to find Heihachi, and Heihachi trained Jin.
This world of its evil and corruption. We also see a bird land on her hand. Could you talk about
Can you believe
what the
that?
bird
Like,
symbolizes
can you
and the
imagine
importance of
June,
Jun's return to the series
like,
after so much time away?
Having Heihachi as your father-in-law,
Just to dive into the background
or whatever the fuck
little bit.
Heihachi is to her.
character setting
I
was
don't think
that
Ozzy and
she's
Hey
involved in
and June were
wildlife
married.
No,
conservation.
they didn't get time to
So-
marry. They barely had time to fuck, and between the tournament.
It has a lot of nature in that environment.
Here's the thing. Even if
So
I don't think
there is
Kazuya would
that,
have would have married her
regarding
anyways.
coming to her, but it's also more.
Would you not marry June?
I would, but I don't think Kazuya would marry anybody.
I think he would hit that. Like, okay, she has a lot of besides hit that, I think he would marry her. She has a lot of similarities to his mom, and most like he has mama and daddy issues, and most people with parent issues, they look for people that look like their parent
Gone even further
of the opposite sex. So like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Get rid of that fighting spirit or not
I guess
invade it,
there's some
so that the
similarities.
opponent
Yeah,
can't
Jun's a very
feel it, right?
soft.
So that
soft
is
person.
said that with,
I don't know much about, I don't
very
remember much about
skilled
Kazumi
martial
though.
artist in the
I
past,
forgot a lot about her.
animals
she
like these
okay,
lions
so
feel that
it's portrayed that she has bipolar because like her devil form and then her nice form, and so like Heihachi would describe her as like there were times where she was caring and nice and sweet, and then there were times where she was not and she was the devil.
but also
Because she was.
important thing with June is
Yeah.
that she's got this power to
How did she get the gene in the
cleanse
first
things
place?
or,
It's just passed down. It awakens when they need to
how this
like
plays,
save the world from evil. Like the devil gene is so it's supposed to, it could be used to help things. It's to be used to like help people, but it's also been used to like destroy. Because she was saying that like the reason why she was sent in to marry Heihachi was to kill him before he causes damage to the world. And technically he does by birthing Kazuya, who then births Jin, who
You know what I find funny? It's like, because Kazumi has been presumed dead for years, right? It's like, why? And Heihachi's been causing problems ever since to the world. Okay, let's be honest. That man has been causing a havoc forever. And Akuma wants to come in now.
Then also the fist just
yeah, don't get me started on that
What?
bullshit.
That's when he shows up in 8 or 7, when she's been dead forever. Anyway, also speaking of that, do you think he's gonna make another appearance? Do you
I
think he's
hope
gonna
not.
come back?
I hope
Me
not.
too. I hope not. I hope there's no 2D characters at all.
I hope not.
I
don't want him back. I don't want him back.
I don't want. I mean, I guess I want Eliza, but only because she's hot. But that's the only one, and it's only for superficial reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of any of the 2D mechanics thrown into a 3D style game, and I'm sorry for you guys that loved them. Like, shout out to you, Susui. Shout out to you, man. But
That man, he loves his Akuma.
you better learn another main because you're losing this one.
He loves his Akuma, and like
You love Akuma, and I don't know why you chose a character who will not be back.
I'm
That's your
all for
main.
him. If that's his main, then what, I can't knock it. I will root for him as Akuma, but
For that
anyone
form.
else, anyone
That's
else.
a bad form. So sad. Like, if you chose Geese, Akuma, I think Naka's even had a couple 2D powers. But like, if you chose them as your mains, man, I feel sorry for you.
You know, I'm hoping that they're not in it. But you know, if Akuma, hopefully they give us some type of satisfied beginning part to Tekken 8 where Akuma and Kazuya's fight either ended in Akuma getting blasted away, Team Rocket style, or like the blast like ends in a stalemate and he's like, you're too strong for me right now, or like I like, because they're not gonna kill Akuma off, and I feel like they have to give us a satisfied ending for that special fight. So like just starting Tekken 8 and not even giving any mention to what happened in that fight will be the biggest slap in the face, I feel like.
It's funny because I was thinking like, well, they could just have I don't know, fall in the lava because they were fighting on a volcano. So
that would mean though Capcom would have to kill off Akuma. Do you think they're gonna kill Akuma off?
He's in another universe. Okay, they're not shared universes. They don't have to kill him off in their universe, in their game.
Okay, that's still one of their flagship characters.
So it's a whole other universe. It's not canon. Who cares?
And
if Tekken 6 comes out first, then it doesn't matter. Oh, sorry. If Street Fighter 6 comes out first, then who cares?
I think they would, because the man didn't lose not a fight.
They won't care.
He didn't lose a fight. He was Brock Lesnar prime. He was Brock Lesnar in his prime. Didn't lose a fight. He was Hulk Hogan.
Kazuya's better, man. Kazuya's better. I don't know what to tell you.
He didn't win.
Kazuya tripped. He just tripped him and he fell in the lava and died.
He didn't. That man.
I don't know. Maybe Jude comes out and distracts him, and then bam, he falls in the lava and dies.
That man is bulletproof. They are not gonna let him.
I mean, but you have a good point though, of like, because I don't remember how that fight ended, but it looks like it didn't end with either one of them technically losing.
It was a draw.
So, okay, well then in that case, yeah, I mean, I guess they have to do something to address that.
Yeah, like every.
I won't care because I didn't really care about Akuma in the first place. So, if they don't, I won't be that mad. I honestly don't care if they don't do anything with it. I mean, but I can see why you should, because I mean, if they want to keep the story going, that is like the first thing they need to address, because it's like, well, how's Kazi even here? Last time we saw that motherfucker, he was on a volcano with Akuma. So
he was in super devil form. We have normal devil form of Kazi in this one. Like, where is super devil form at? Like,
yeah, so yeah, we got to figure out what happened with that. Or I don't know, maybe Harada just gives a giant fuck you and just moves on.
He did say don't ask me for shit, so I think that's gonna be the title of the video is don't ask us for shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else it could be, but I mean, here's the thing though, like, and I wasn't like, it was fine that they did the story mode, but I guess when I realized how much of the single player offerings were dedicated to that mode, it kind of turned me off from it and actually made me upset about it, because I mean, I was fine getting my story mode through arcade mode with like certain cutscenes playing out when we played different characters, and that allowed me to have all types of different, allowed me to get more time out of the game, because it gave me reason to play with other characters and like other modes and shit like that, unlock a bunch of other things. But when all the unlockables were behind the treasure battle, which is fine, again, I think I like that mode, I would like that back. But when that's the only way you can unlock anything, it's like it does lose its luster after time. So it's just, if that's the same case with this game, I'm gonna be a little conflicted while I'm playing it. And I'm like, well, okay, cool, this is it. This and treasure battle again, that's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine.
Well, seeing like he just said, we're gonna have Tekken 12, so like, don't give me hope.
Yeah,
like,
we'll see. We'll see. I will say, it doesn't matter because I want Tekken 2 to survive as long as possible. So, I think they were saying, and he probably said this not just for Tekken 7, but also Soul Calibur 6. He was like, he said, because he was talking about money with Soul Calibur 6 too, and he was like, guys, like, we need you to buy the season pass. Like, we're desperate. Like, this will help any possibility of another game coming out in the franchise. And so I was like, I heard that. I was like, I heard the call to action, Harada. You got to say no more to me. I remember I bought the season pass for Calibur 6 before I even had the game. Like I bought it right away. I was like, I need Soul Calibur to keep going because I love Soul Calibur as well. I love Soul Calibur so much.
So
Tekken more, but I do love also Soul Calibur.
so when do we have the talk that Tekken will eventually need to be put down? The story is wrapping up. Like, are we getting to the point now where the story can retire and we can just have like remasters of the, like a remastered edition of the games?
Oh, Tekken 3 on PS5.
Like,
Oh, you're giving me hard-ons, bro. You're giving me hard-ons.
like,
I can't handle that.
the story is good, but with Heihachi character dying and this looking like the end of the game, like I think we're at the point now where we can retire Tekken and like just give us remasters of the game. Like give it the Last of Us treatment. Like,
We could, depending on how the story plays out, there's this argument made that we could wrap it up, and 8 is like the last one.
it's a good
But
number. It's a good number to stop at.
Who knows how the story ends? Maybe they might do something where they bring up Lars more or Lee, you know, because they're part of the family technically, or Asuka, you know. But there are more Kazuma slash Hashimas beyond Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin, right? So I don't know. Depends on how much they have of a place they play in the story. Maybe a whole new threat. Maybe they just changed the threat. Maybe it's a whole new conflict now. You know, once that gets settled, maybe a whole other set of conflicts come up. I don't know. And I think I would have to wait until the story mode plays its way out to find out what could be next. Now, I would absolutely take a remaster, port, or whatever of those old ass games into PS5, especially 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2
my God, it's
do
rough.
not play well. They're so bad.
Oh my
Tekken 3, I don't know how it's still as smooth as it is. I mean, it's no Tekken 7 or 6 or whatever, Tekken Tag. But for a PS1 game, holy fuck, Tekken 3 plays well. And I don't know how. It blows my mind. Like, it moves smoother than it has any right to move. For a PS1 game from like 98 or whatever, 99.
Oh boy.
Like, I don't know how. They must have done some motion capture or some shit. Because Tekken 3, I can probably pick up. I mean, it will be a bit stiff. I have to get used to it again. But I won't have a problem with playing Tekken 3. Which I don't know how they figured that out. But Tekken 1 and 2, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know why they put Tekken 2 as the Tekken game in the PlayStation Classics for PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Plus. Why did they do 2? Why didn't they do 3? Like, 3 is so much better than 2. So much better. Why did you put 2? Guys, why did you put 2?
2 was,
Sony, Bandai,
bad.
why did you do 2? You should have done 3.
Both 1
You
and
should have
2.
done 3.
The models were just ugly. Like, if he had said that, like, okay, the models in 1 and 2 were so bad, like, okay, so the models in 7 were so bad that he needed to upgrade them, I would be like, no. But if he was like, the models look like 1 and 2 and he needed to upgrade them to like 3, I definitely understood that. The models in 7 aren't nearly as bad if you said that you're having money issues that you need them to look like 8. Like, I just don't see that. I don't see that at all. But I would feel like this way, if he did end it at 8 and just did the remaster, while I'm heavily against next generation, because I already feel old enough as is with this game coming, this series been the longest storyline ever. I don't need the next generation make my generation look old. I don't like that. I don't like that in Mortal Kombat. I kind of don't like that with Street Fighter. I like Daddy Ryu. He looks cool, but like Daddy whatever his name is, the dude in the red that's not Paul Phoenix, he looks homely. The wife then took his kids. I don't need that for Tekken.
You don't want a 20-year jump where Jin is a father
No,
and maybe Xiao Yu was the mom?
I don't want that. I don't want that.
You don't want that?
No, I don't want white hair Kazuya or white hair Jin.
Then we could get certified MILF status Nina and Anna.
I don't want that either. She's already a MILF. She's already a MILF. She's already a MILF. She's already a MILF.
No, but this would be like mature MILF, which is like...
She's already a mature MILF.
Just time. No, they're not that old yet, are they? They're not in their
You
40s, are they?
okay? So you got to remember though that like they were both
They're in their
they were
30s,
both
aren't
they were both cryo frozen. They were
I don't
both
care.
so
I
okay.
don't care.
They're older than they're supposed to be. They were just frozen.
Well, just don't worry about the little details. They don't matter. Okay. Think about the now. Think about the good.
Okay, but I'm saying though they're older than than they look. So like she maybe looks like she's 30 or 20, but she's actually 40 or 30, like early 30s.
If her body acts and works like a 30-year-old, then she's a 30-year-old.
But her mind.
If it looks like a chicken, acts like a chicken, talks like a chicken, it's a chicken. So
That is
same
crazy.
thing here.
She
Same
is
thing here.
her actual son is damn near like 10 years younger than she is.
I don't think the rules, man. Okay, I just know what I like.
She is a MILF. She is a
I know
MILF.
what I like. And she would be a certified MILF status along with her sister. You're gonna tell me you're not gonna want a MILF Anna? Come on.
She's
Let's
already
be
MILF. She's
real.
She's already MILF. I'm
Okay.
cool. She's already MILF. She has the certification.
I think, well, she does, but she's not MILF status yet. But she would be certified. Put a stamp on it.
She
okay?
has a stamp. She has a whole kid that she's ducking and dodging.
Think we don't know that for sure.
Oh, we know.
The court hasn't proved it yet.
Not that many people have blonde hair, steel blue eyes, and pouty face, and can kick ass in that universe. Only 2 people, and it's Steve and Nina. Those are the 2 people that fit that description. So yeah, she has a kid. She is a MILF. I don't need them.
I was talking about Anna, not Nina. Anna.
Okay. Anna doesn't have any kids. Yeah, I'll give you that. Anna
I said Anna doesn't have any kids.
Okay,
Nina
yeah,
does.
yeah.
That I'm not refuting. Anna but she would be a certified MILF status. No, not necessarily because she has a kid, but just because she just fits the mold so well.
She's an ILF. She's an aunt I would like to fuck.
Oh my gosh, I love Anna. She's my wife.
But
And dude, and Asuka would look like a fucking snack because she'd be like actually like not a teenager. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
I'm okay with it because like besides her, I can't do nothing with her. I can't do nothing with her, but I have enough of them that I can fantasize with. I don't want her to get older to make everyone else get older. It was bad enough that like I forgot that I was too young to realize that hey, Hachi had black hair and then went to gray hair. I don't want that for Jin. I don't want gray hair Jin.
No, he wouldn't have gray. He'd be like a pepper. He'd be like salt and pepper hair.
Okay, then I don't want gray hair Law. Is that because Law has pepper hair now?
Oh my gosh, I would love to see an old Paul, like a middle-aged crisis Paul. Well, Paul is almost middle-aged, but like real middle-aged Paul and Law.
Yeah.
Trying to like get through life. That'd be fucking hilarious. I would be there. I would be there immediately.
I don't need my heroes being old. It's bad enough watching my actual superstar heroes get old. I don't need my video game heroes getting old. Like don't do this to me. I don't do this to me.
Your reasoning is just because you don't want to deal with a crisis. So that's not a valid reason.
No, because like okay, when they do this like mainly in wrestling and then for like video games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighters, they portray it as that the characters are not as strong as they used to be, or even God of War. They say that the characters are not as strong as they used to be, and they harp on that. And it's like these next generations like, don't worry, Pops, I got this. Sit down, old man, I got this. You're getting your ass beat. Don't worry, the new generation is here. And I'm like, okay, first off, don't do this to me, because like they will whoop your ass back in their heyday. Don't think just because they got a little bit of gray under their beard and they got a big gay on their back and knees that they still can't whoop your ass. I don't want that. I don't want to have to defend my characters. I don't want that static.
You were breaking down before our very eyes. You were having a crisis.
I don't like
that I know you had before.
I don't like the new generation.
You're not even in your 30s. I am turning 30 in a few months. You have a few years before that happens, and you are acting as if you were turning 40 next year.
I don't like the new generation trope. I don't like that.
You are breaking down before our very eyes. It is hilarious, but that's also not a reason to not want it to happen. You were just being selfish.
I'll be selfish.
I think it's a good thing you don't have a kid, because if you had a kid, you would just be having mental breakdowns, because you'd be like, one day they're gonna be like, move over, old man, and you're gonna be like, I don't know how to take this. How do I take this?
See, no, the moment he says move over, old man, I'm gonna do what my father threatened to do with me. It's in the, and I'm gonna either hit you with a stick and I'm gonna cripple you, or like if you challenge me, I have a gun, so I will just shoot you. Like you can challenge me if you want, but you going away with with a bullet in your toe. So like if you want to, you could definitely try, but like you either getting crippled with a cane or you getting shot in the foot.
Ridiculous.
It's either or. Either or.
you have problems, man. We're getting beyond the. We're done. Can we just end this? We've been doing this for almost 2 hours.
All right, but that will be the end of this video. Thank you, RJ, for stopping by. Thank you for this. We are excited, but we are also weary of Tekken 8. And you know, like the man said, buy the game because we have financial troubles.
Like Karada said, buy the game. Karada said it. Buy the game. We're desperate.
Buy the game. Buy the game. And don't ask him for shit. Just buy the
Don't ask
game.
him for shit, but buy the game and the DLC.
And the
because
DLC.
Otherwise, he's not gonna be able to explain himself for blowing the budget on fucking up my law.
For next year. You know, maybe next year law will be if we get a Tekken 9, which I don't think we need Tekken 9. I don't think we need Tekken 9. If it ends on 9 is an odd number. Who ends on an odd number? So that means you have to go to Tekken 10. And that's too many Tekkens. But Tekken 8 is a good number. I think Tekken 8 should be where it ends. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that we should continue on with Tekken? Do you think it should end at Tekken 8? And what are your hopes or worries about Tekken 8?
Long live Tekken.
Yes,
long live Harada.
Yes. And don't ask him for shit.
Long live MILF Anna.
Peace, guys.
My wifey.
Oh my god.